Well, so we're here, episode 4.
I can't believe we lasted 4 episodes.
I know. I was looking at our YouTube. We got like over 10,000 views, almost 90 hours of video watched.
So is it you think people actually like to hear us, or they want to see what we're going to say next and they don't like us at all?
Yeah, I don't know yet. I think it'll probably take a couple episodes
Trying to figure out which one it is.
out. But I do have something to say to you, Facebook, and to you, Mark Zuckerberg. For 3 months, we have been trying to change the name of our Facebook to Somewhat Tipsy. I've done the little shake, report the problem thing. That didn't work. I've emailed them. You know, it'd be cool. I don't know if there was a customer service number. That'd be great. Maybe the algorithm will pick this up, what I'm saying. You know, hashtag change Tipsy's name. I don't know. Sorry, I've been working on it for so long.
I understand. I appreciate the phone call at 5 o'clock in the morning with your upsetting us the other night. Could you imagine, though, if Facebook had a 1-800 number?
I mean, it would suck for them, but it would really help us out at that time.
That phone would never stop ringing. Never stop ringing.
Yeah.
I don't think Facebook could, or Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever, could ever have a 1-800 number. But it does. When you want some customers, you're trying to change something, you're trying to follow their rules.
Yeah.
To change something, it takes months or sometimes doesn't even happen.
Yeah. It gave us some error message that, we can't change it again, which we've never changed it.
No.
So, I mean, I don't know. Come on, Facebook.
Help us out here. Somewhat Tipsy. Help us out.
But for episode 4, we do have Liquid Alchemist as our sponsor.
Which is a non-alcoholic beverage.
It is. And
so we're all about alcohol on the show. This is a non-alcoholic beverage.
It is, but I mean, the bar industry is changing so much.
How am I supposed to drink out of a bottle when it's not alcoholic?
I brought the whiskey over there for you.
I appreciate you. Thank you. And that's my bottle,
I was thinking of you. I'm like,
I appreciate it.
You know what? I brought some whiskey.
No shot glasses. I just need a whiskey.
I didn't put that on silent.
You didn't?
Mm-mm. It's on silent now.
All right. We'll edit that out.
That's not getting edited out.
That's not getting edited out?
No.
Wow.
That's in there.
There's our 4th and final show. Thank you, Joe.
But anyway, Liquid Alchemist, the way the industry is changing and people wanting to, have more natural products, more higher end products in their drinks, a premium syrup like this, it's a game changer when it comes to tasting. Like, you could put a dash of that in that whiskey, which we will try. And it's absolutely delicious. And a lot of the craft cocktails.
Yeah. You can change a whiskey flavor or change a gin flavor with all the different flavors that they have.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, important because people like gin or they like rum, but they're tired of the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Rum and Coke can only go so long. Now, if you can have your same Captain or your Grey Goose flavor, but change a little bit, more craft cocktail, I think it's where the game's changing.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely
is. It's fairly new, too. I mean, he founded this back in 2009, so it's not been around for 80 years. I mean, It's been around for some time, don't get me wrong, but it's not one of these, this has been back since 1832, and it's like, it's a newish product coming out in the last, 15 years.
Yep.
And it's gaining more traction. It's gaining more and more and more in ingredients. And I think with the craft cocktails coming into play, I think it's really going to keep stepping up bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, the more fresh product that you can put in anything, I mean, the better it's going to taste.
And the sugar, it's not huge amounts of sugar, which I read the ingredients in and stuff. I mean, some sugar in it, but it's not huge amounts of it.
Yeah.
Where it changes everything and gives you diabetes after your second drink. It changes it a little bit. It changes a little bit. But we appreciate him, and I'm definitely interested in our break to try that with our whiskey over there.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. So we have some in-studio guests today.
Yes, we do.
We are very excited. We've got Bo and Ralph. Thank you for coming in, guys. And you guys have a big event coming up.
Yeah, we have a big event coming up September 7th.
September 7th, the weekend after Labor Day.
We set up perfect for that reason.
You did. You did.
Going on that weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just one artist or 2 artists or maybe 3, but Bo, you kept adding more and another one and another one. And
I don't know yet.
every week you just keep adding a new artist or 2 or 10. Because I remember when I talked about this, and it started off with 1 or 2 artists, and then it was 3 to 5 to 7, and every other day you're calling me going, what do you think about this guy? What do you think about this guy? And, hey, man, I think you did a great job. So who's in your lineup? Who's in your life? And you have a personal connection with them, or is this like you call the agencies when you talk this? Or obviously one guy led to another guy, all in the same genre. But let's talk about who you have coming on September 7th.
And we got 95 South. We got the Mad Stuntman.
So 95 South. Let's go slow here. 95 South. They're a big song.
Oh yeah, Woot, there it is.
Woot, there it is, and everyone remembers that from back from in the '90s. Whoop, there it is, and there's two of them, obviously, in the group.
Daddy Black and Mike.
And I heard a little rumor they might be calling in the show a little bit later.
They might be.
Stay tuned. And then who else?
We got the Mad Stuntman from Real to Real, which he's very famous from the Madagascar movie.
All right.
I like to move it, Mr. I like to move it.
Yeah. And he's by himself,
Yep.
Real to Real. So,
Yep.
All right, who else you got?
We got Turbo B from Snap, which I'm sure you guys are all familiar. It's been in a lot of movies. Bruce Almighty, I Got the Power.
Yep.
Rhythm is a Dancer. And the cool thing about it is, if you are listening, you'll get a little sneak peek. The night of the show, he's actually going to be he's a professional beatboxer.
Oh,
he's
cool.
going to be doing some beatboxing that night, too, on the microphone.
That's going to be
solo.
Cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yep. And then we have DJ Unk, Mr. Walk It Out, two-step from the 2000 era.
I think everyone remembers that song.
Many commercials. Actually, the dog Rover commercial just came out with Walk It Out.
Really?
Yeah, with the dog.
Now they get rights to that, right? When you use their song in your commercial.
Oh, yeah.
So every time it's played, you're getting a nickel, a dime, a quarter, a penny, whatever
absolutely.
it is.
They call that mailbox money.
Mailbox money.
Yep. So, and the cool thing about DJ Unk is he'll be performing the Cupid Shuffle because he is on the remix.
Okay.
He knows the Cupid Shuffle.
Yeah.
That's,
And we're still going, but you got some good. I know every one of these artists so far.
Yeah.
Like, and that was kind of my error, even though I'm only 25. That was still my error. Ball game, nobody asked for your comment. But that was my error, and I do remember it. I keep remembering the songs, and it brings you back to where you were in the 90s and 2000s, like that. And you still got more.
Oh, yeah. East Side Boys with the guest Duffy. East Side Boys, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Lil Jon, East Side Boys. So they'll be coming up there doing Get Low, Be a, Who You With, and he'll be performing with the gas can. Everyone wants to know.
Yeah.
He still carries around the gas can. And everyone wants to know what's in the gas can. He refuses to tell anybody. Everyone thinks it's crunk juice. Juice.
Yeah.
He said he hasn't drank crunk juice in over 10 years. So he will not tell anybody what's in it.
So September 7th, we're going to get crunk juice.
I don't know.
What is crunk juice?
Crunk juice.
It's got to be a special concoction, probably.
You'll find out the night of the show.
We're drinking crunk juice. Crunk juice specials.
Yeah, and then we have OG Magnum, which OG Magnum is he's a TikTok celebrity, over 600,000 followers on Facebook, TikTok. He was in Plies' music video with Real Hitta with Plies and Kodak Black. And actually, that was the first music video that didn't have the artist in it. It was all lip synced or verbal lip synced, through the people in the video. And OG Magnum was the first one to ever do that. So if you look up any hip hop song, if you notice, all the artists are in there performing, or they're doing their own thing. Not this one. Real Hitta by Plies and Kodak Black. OG Magnum's in there lip singing the whole song.
But it's not his song.
It's not his song.
So something a little different.
Yeah.
They're on tour putting out a song that they already filmed for.
What's cool about this is, I can relate to these guys as I'm a firefighter. These guys, Snap, he was a military guy. Turbo B from Snap actually got started in the military. Found music while in the military. And OG Magnum was in the Air Force. So, kind of a connection we have with the first responders and frontline workers.
Now, where's your show going to be at, Bo?
Streamline Hotel.
On the rooftop.
Yeah, on the rooftop.
They have the rooftop bar up there.
All right.
A1A Promotions, that's the name of our brand, on A1A.
Exactly.
Now, what got you into this? Because you're a fireman, a local fireman.
Correct.
You've been doing shows. You got your start. You didn't do shows, but you got your start doing what?
Actually, boxing was my first. That was my first start in the game. I was 22 years old when I put on my first show, right here in Daytona Beach. It was at the Dickerson Center in Daytona Beach, and it was boxing. I actually did a first show ever was a firefighter versus cops event.
Oh, that'd be fun.
So it was all firefighters fought cops, and it was amazing.
At the end of the event.
Wait, who won?
Yeah, who won?
Cops and firemen.
We, the firefighters.
That's cool.
Because everyone thinks we just sit around and train all day. We have the time, right? Somewhat true.
Well, you're either sleeping, eating, or sliding. You have the pole. I have to ask. Do you have a pole?
Not at our station.
You don't sleep on the second and ride the pole down?
No.
And that's the only reason I want to be a fireman.
No.
I just want to get up and stripper pole it all the way down on my way to work. Every time I get a call.
You want to wear the suspenders too?
The whole time.
absolutely.
Suspenders and a stripper pole. I mean, what a job, right? That's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I got started with that, and then take place. We did a couple boxing shows. Then I got into brought Big Smo here, which Jeremy knows. And sure you're familiar with the movie A Christmas Story. the famous Christmas Story Red Ryder BB gun.
Where they licked the he licked the
Licked the pole.
licked the pole. Yeah,
Yep.
got his tongue stuck on
I
there.
worked with a lot of those guys. Brought them here to Daytona. Did a meet and greet once with Flick and Scott Farkas and Grover Dill from the movie. We raffled off some Red Ryder BB guns and leg lamps from the movie. Teamed up with Victoria out of Tiano's.
All right.
Did a show with him. So been in and out of the promoting game for a while. Took some time off due to school, but now that everything's done with school, found my partner here, Ralph Perez with Curb Appeal, and we teamed up, and now we're full force going back in the promoting game. And one way to do it is with a huge lineup, right?
Oh,
So
absolutely.
you fight fires during the day, save cats from trees, and at night you're putting on shows.
I am.
And a family man.
And a family man. And every now and then get calls from Jeremy telling me that I need to come out and DJ for him.
I did the other day. I called him. I said, I got a DJ gig for you.
So balancing all that, it's a busy life, but I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love what I do every day.
And this is your birthday bash.
It's my birthday bash.
So this is your birthday bash. So this is kind of a celebration, bringing the company to life too.
Right.
Which rolled into Ralph. So you guys partnered up on this. Ralph had, you all do other things. You're a fireman. Ralph, you have a company as well, Curb Appeal.
Curb Appeal, correct.
Yep. Which you guys do.
I do all hardscape, outdoor hardscape. So I do all the pretty stuff on the outside. So I'm doing like summer kitchens, pavers on pool decks. I'm doing build you a custom structure, pergolas, interior tile, pool replastering, stuff like that. So I kind of rehab the outdoors. So, or I can start from scratch, do design. I've been doing that for about 24 years now. Love doing that. It's been a long journey, but it's always nice going to someone's home and giving them their ideal dreams of what their outdoor should look like.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a real cool thing, being able to impact somebody's life like that, because people spend good money on those projects.
Oh, they do.
So,
and it's important because that's where they spend a lot of their time at.
That's where they
spend a lot of time on the pad, especially in Florida.
People retreat to the outdoors. People hit the backyard right at nighttime. So everybody goes out there and do their thing. So I tell people, where you want to spend your money on the driveway, you want to spend your money in the backyard.
Yeah.
But you eventually get to the front. But most people like to retreat in the evening. So we really do focus on a lot of the rear, people's homes.
So partnering with it, what's been your biggest obstacle on this one?
Probably the artists. At the end of the day, I love my artists, but it's juggling all the different personalities. It's this person wants this hotel room. He needs 2 bedrooms. This one says I only need 1, but I want this alcohol. And this one wants
the green M&Ms.
Picked up at this time.
The green M&Ms.
The green M&Ms, and it's all
true.
Learning all different sorts of life.
It's definitely a la carte.
It's like juggling 7 relationships all at once.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
Plus work, plus your family life, plus everything else.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
But they seem like a group of good guys.
They are.
And I know you've talked about in the past, hey, can we do this? Can we do that? Yeah. And I think it's a good relationship building.
It is.
And they bring you other artists and they work together. And it's almost like you got an I Love the 90s tour type thing going on here with all the guys that you're bringing in.
Correct. And there's just something to say about this genre of music. And we all know that sitting in this room, that the 90s and 2000s were some of the best eras of that.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, these were all major hits back then. I like to move it. Rhythm is a dancer. I got the power. Woot, there it is. Come on, ride the train.
Yeah.
I mean, those are all
iconic songs.
Iconic songs. Those songs are played, and that's good about those songs is you could play them in the roughest areas. You could play them at family reunions. You could play them at weddings. I mean,
oh yeah,
you
you're
can play
hearing
them
it
anywhere.
everywhere.
You can always play that. You play it at grandma's party. You can play them anywhere. And people
we got Madagascar. I like to move for the kids, and the strip club's playing at the same time.
Exactly.
I mean, how great is that? I like to move it. She's swinging around a pole. You're jumping out of the fire station, swinging around a pole. And then my kids are, I don't have kids, but the kids are watching, Madagascar.
Yeah. So it's very cool what we have going on here. So yeah, September 7th, Streamline Hotel, rooftop bar.
So what's
doors open at 7?
I gotta ask, what's the next step? So this show's coming up. You got about 3 weeks. It's coming up soon. And what's the next step? You gonna grab 10 more artists and do one in 3 weeks later?
There's some artists in the pile here, but I'm gonna leave that to my man Ralph. Ralph, what would you like to collaborate on that one with?
Who would I like to collaborate with?
No, who would you like to bring here, and what's on our radar for?
Yeah, who'd you like to bring in?
Who's on our radar?
Well, honestly, we were thinking of maybe doing something with Vanilla Ice.
Okay.
Maybe getting him down here. We got some conversations with Young Jock.
All right.
So
And also Paul Wall.
Paul Wall is another good contact.
Oh God,
that
Paul
we're
Wall! I
with.
forgot about him.
Yeah.
Paul Wall, baby.
So, yeah.
You're gonna be jamming that on the way home, aren't you?
I am. I am.
I know you are.
Baby. Yeah, so yeah, we got some, but we're trying to stick to that early 2000s to 90s genre is where we want to stay at.
Yeah.
Because as you guys know, those were again some iconic songs, and everybody can relate to that. You know, if you're 30, 35, 40, 45 years old, working at Halifax Hospital or Advent, and you want a night out, you look at that price tag and you go, oh man, I want to relive those moments.
Right.
It's all about reliving those moments.
Well,
What I like about your show, guys, is when you usually go to a show, you have that 1 or 2 songs you remember, 4 or 5 songs you remember, but literally each of these artists or groups have 5, 6 songs. You got 7 artists. There's going to be 30, 40 songs over the 3-4 hour period that we're going to know. And that's a lot. I mean, because most time, again, you go to a show, even a Taylor Swift show, and you know her 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 popular songs. But there's also another 10, 15 that you don't really know. Or they're, they're on the album, but they're not as well known, not as played on the radio. But again, each of these guys have 4 or 5 songs. It's not just one song and they're done.
Right.
They have 4 or 5 songs, and then they're going to be doing those songs. 5 of them, it's 30 songs. We're gonna be able to sing along with it. And that's a cool thing you guys are doing.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, and we're excited. Yeah. So, and also my partner, we got another partner too, John. Who's part of it. Got to include him on this interview here. But yeah, he's my partner too. Kind of more like he's all the time traveling, so he's like my long-term partner. Known John for 12, 15 years, so he's like our guy on this show. Just kind of wanted to help out with this one. He had some background in comedy, so he's going to be a part of this event too. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
That's good. Working together and keep growing and keep building.
Yeah.
See, it's funny you brought up the artist aspect of it, because it is a pain, especially when you're working with travel arrangements, you're working with hotels, you're working with all that.
Time constraints.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot you have to put in, and I've noticed like I do a songwriters festival. I do a charity event every year, and I probably bring in 20 to 30 songwriters that come in, and they're more the country genre. Their travel is so easy compared to like getting them set up. The biggest issue I run into with the event is getting the money, getting the sponsorship, getting the sponsors out there. That is, I mean, the talking to the artist, that's the fun part, getting them booked, but then getting the money, that's the hard part. You are putting in some work, the man hours, that's insane just to try and go out there and get some sponsorship.
Yeah, it's no joke. I remember, collaborating on that. It was sponsorships are hard. But I also remember being 22, 23 years old going, I don't know anybody of these artists. I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
So I had to literally be a fanboy. And I have to go to these concerts and these shows at 22, 23 years old, walking up going, hey, can I get a contact information?
Yeah.
Try to book you. I was like, get out of here, kid. I was like a little kid. Now it's like, okay, now that I have a kind of a somewhat name with the artist, I kind of can hold some credibility here when it comes to the artist, because once you leave with one, like DJ Unk gave us Young Jock's number, Young Jock gives us this number, and you start building a relationship. They go, oh, he's legit, he's the real deal.
Anything in this business, anything in this world is relationships,
right?
100%. And knowing this person, you do right by them, they do right by you. That's how you build. Correct. And that's how you build a name, build what you're doing. They know when they come, they're gonna have a good show. They know it's gonna be promoted. They know they're gonna get their money, and everyone's happy in the long run.
Correct.
As long as they don't need green M&Ms or purple straws or something. Man, I've had some crazy stuff in the past.
I can imagine. Yeah.
I remember one band. I'm not going to mention the name.
Yeah.
But they first of all, they were coming ahead. We're talking about a band from the 80s, 90s, right? For Bike Week. That's all I'm going to say on that part. And they wanted 3 kinds of peanut butter, 2 different kinds of jelly, bread, white bread, wheat bread. I mean, their laundry list of what they wanted was 2.5 pages. And they were coming in for the show and leaving. Like, only one guy flew in of the band. The rest of them were driving in. One of them lived in 2 of them lived in Jacksonville. One of them lived in Orlando. One lived in Miami. And then, one of them was flying in from Boston or something like that. And I'm thinking, what do you need 3 loaves of bread for? Wheat bread and this and that. And I called up the manager and I said, listen, man, we have a restaurant. I have 50 items on our menu. I said, you can have whatever you want and as much as you want. But I am not going out and getting Jiffy, Skippy, Rippy, and Lippy all your freaking peanut butters. I'm just not doing it. I was like, I understand why you did it, but they used to do it because that's what get them to the next tour. So when the buses, so I found out, I go, why do you need 3 jars of peanut butter? What, are you going to pack it on your bags? And the guy and I were joking around. So I found out that they used to get all this from the venue, first of all, see if you're going to do it. And they know you're not going to get them 30 cans of this and 20 cans of this and Diet Pepsi, Diet Coke, Diet Root Beer, Diet this. Yeah. But when you got most of it, they put it on their tour bus for the next trip 6 hours away to Miami. Smart. And then Miami, they would tell them the same thing. I need peanut butter, I need this, this, and this. So when the 8-hour trip to the 13-hour trip to New Jersey on the bus, they would have food and drink and everything else.
Shoot your shot, man.
Shoot your shot. What's the worst you could say? I didn't get you Skippy peanut butter? Well, fuck me. I guess I'm not doing the show.
I got peanut man.
I never had that happen. But what I'm saying is, I kind of found out, I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
But now that they're all flying in, people don't really, it's not cost effective nowadays to have a band really get on a bus. I'm not speaking for everybody, but nowadays, it's not as cost effective to put everybody on a bus and do a 30-day tour and where you're driving in between. You'd rather just fly to the next spot now that you know how it is. But it was really interesting when he told me that.
Yeah, I believe it. I absolutely believe it. Yeah.
And from that day on, I never got Skittled M&Ms or freaking peanut butter, 3 cans of Jif or whatever it was ever again. Ever again.
I was working with a very well-known artist. I'm not going to say it on here, but it was like $100,000 for, and I was like, wow, that's actually not a bad price. We come in and do 6-7 songs, but I was like, all right, we can make that work.
Right.
Ball game. I'll come in and do 6-7 songs for $100,000 for you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But and then he gives me the list of like you said, a bunch of random shit. But the one that really caught me is I needed 6 Suburbans with nothing less or nothing more than 5% tint on the whole car, and the windshield had to be tinted. I was like, well, that's illegal, but all right, I could probably I could make that happen. Then I had to hire a security team for his security team. So I was like, wait, I'm hiring a security team to protect your security team that's protecting you.
Wow.
But the Suburbans and the tint, like it had to, because I'm calling rental places and like,
and you're asking,
I'm like, oh, do you? Yeah. And they're like, no, we don't tint our windshields. I'm like, yeah, why would you? I need you to.
So what did you tell him?
That's fun.
I tried. I was like, look, man, I can get the cars. The security team, when I was pricing that out, was insanely expensive. I mean, for the 2 days, I think it was going to cost me close to $20,000-$30,000 just for the security team because it had to be 6 people.
Wow.
And then I'm looking at the cost, and then he wanted the nice hotel, which I get that. That was kind of normal. Yeah, all right, you want the presidential suite, okay. But yeah, the car thing was the hardest thing, and then we just ran into a scheduling issue with that, when we could do it, when he could do it, and it just never came about.
If you can't get front tin shield, I'm not coming.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like I was talking to his management, I'm like, funny. This is really hard to get. He's like, that's what you got to do. He's like, he's only doing this for $100,000. I'm like, I know, I love the price, but this windshield thing is really.
Are you not going to tell us who it was? I kind of want to know who it is.
The $100,000.
$100,000's throwing me off. I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
I mean, I'll definitely talk about it off air, but I'd hate for that person to hear it. Then I say their name and be like, I call them to do a show, and it's like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Listen,
you made me sound like a pretentious douche.
Yeah. I will tell you, I will get the 6 Escalades with what's it on the front if he calls, all right? You're not going to tell us, are you? I'm really curious at who it is.
I'll drop a hint as the episode goes on.
Oh, they're going to keep dropping hints? Would you play their soundtrack in the background?
No, I'll just say a word. I'll drop a little hint. You might be able to get it.
Mine was Molly Hatchet. I'll tell you mine was Molly Hatchet.
Okay. He's just coming out like that.
Yeah,
I'm going to throw it out there.
He's really
Molly Hatchet. And it was just how much they wanted was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But I see why they want it. Like I said, from the tour, I can understand it. That's why I said, I have a restaurant. Let's eat here. It didn't make sense to get 3 cans of peanut butter because they can't even take it with them. I mean,
right.
I don't think you could take food like that on the plane or anything. So that's why he's like, yeah, well, just forget this. And it turned into, they ate lunch, they ate dinner, they played the show, and everything was great.
Unless they're flying private. A couple of years ago, I flew private for the first time and didn't realize you could just take whatever you want. There's no security to go through.
So, who is it?
We want to know who it is, Joe. Joe, we want to know. Sing the song, do something.
Yeah, you're beating around the bush.
You're beating around the bush. I came out and said it.
You tried to escape that one, and it didn't work.
Not yet, huh?
Yeah, you guys are just barking over here.
Thanks a lot. I put mine out on their limb, and you didn't. Yeah. So as we're talking about restaurants, we're talking about events, we're talking about this. Let's go a little bit into the restaurant business in 2024. So a lot of restaurants in the last couple of weeks have started closing. And the fear I have a little bit is, at least in Florida, is we're tipped employees right now are $8.98 an hour. At the end of September, it goes to $9.98. The guy, it's $1. What's $1? But $1 is 7 employees for lunch shift, 7 employees for dinner shift, plus this, plus that, plus this. I mean, everyone's payroll at the end of September, beginning of October is about to go up 20%. I mean, Joe, would you safe to say about 20%?
Yeah.
15, 20%. I mean, it's only $1. It's $1. What's it matter? But $1 times 7 people an hour times 7 days times 30 days times this. Like our payroll in the restaurant industry is about to go up. I'd say, if I had to put a number, 8 to 12%, I'd probably say.
Easily 8.
8 to 12%, 10% is about to go up because of this. And I think it's good, but now we have to make more. We have to produce more. Now that's going to drive up cost. That's going to drive up this, and then promotions and marketing and shows and green M&Ms and 3 cans of Jif peanut butter. It's just going to keep going and going and going. A lot of restaurants have been closing down. Hey, it's not that we can't make it. It's just not worth it. I mean, I've talked to 3 restaurants that have closed down in the last month, and it's not that they can't. It's not that they're not making it. It's just not worth it. To add another $20,000, it's going to cost me more to add another $20,000. They're paying their rent, they're paying their mortgage, they're paying their bills, but everything has gotten so.
Your profit margin is
less and less and less.
One up just up the street from my house just closed. Yeah, just Lola's.
It's happening everywhere right now.
Yeah, and I hope it's a minor thing.
Auctions the past month.
I've got so much stuff from restaurants now.
Yeah.
I see them close. I'm like, oh, I'll go in there and buy wristband. I bought 5,000 wristbands from one, $20, buying cups. They're all nice little things. And
I don't know if this is getting off topic, but how do you guys feel about the whole DoorDash, Uber Eats, and all that where it's going with the restaurant business?
I think it's taken away from.
You think it's taken away from
the energy of being able to walk in?
Yeah. I mean, so how is it affecting a restaurant business, and how is it bettering the restaurant business?
Right.
I think it all depends on the type of bar and restaurant that you are. Like if you're in a tourist location, if you have that, just tourist, not trap, but just that tourist vibe where you have something at your place that they want to go see, whether it be a beach, a river, a sunset, something like that. If you have that, you're probably doing better than most, when it comes to the DoorDash and the Uber Eats, because people are still going there because you could DoorDash it, but you can't catch the sunset,
right,
stuff like that. But if you're just like, if I want to go to Charlie's, but my lazy ass doesn't feel like getting out of the couch.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just gonna, and I pay more for it.
It tastes the same.
It
There's
doesn't.
Nothing I've ever ordered from DoorDash. No knock on DoorDash or Uber Eats. There's nothing I've ever ordered that actually came the way it tastes at the restaurant or at this. And I'm talking about from fast food like Taco Bell, Burger King, to Chili's and Applebee's, to a mom and pop style restaurant. It never did. It's cold. It's this, because you can't bring something when you're driving.
It's going to get soggy if you got 20 minutes of condensation just sitting there dripping onto your food. Correct. It's gonna. And
remember, they put it in that little window or their little cart thing that has it there, and then by the time it's been sitting there 7 minutes, and then Tony in his neon comes and picks it up and drives to your house. It's 25 minutes, 30 minutes for that double-decker taco, and it's just not the same.
It's not the same product anymore.
I don't think it's. I mean, I think it's great what they did. It spiked in the pandemic. It was great. Yeah. I think now it's still, but as much as they take the 20, 30%, I think it's 30%.
That's what they get out of restaurants.
Yeah, it's pricey.
So they get over 20% of that sale goes to them. So now you got inflation costs, so your food's going up. Now you're increasing your menu item 20% just to pay for the.
So now you go to Uber Eats or DoorDash, you think my burger's $17, but it's really only $13.50.
Yeah,
right.
But you're like, dang, that's getting high. But it's only high because it's only high because I have to raise it 30% because I got to give DoorDash their part of the money. Right. Then you're getting a soggy burrito coming to your place or a soggy burger for $17.
And then they drop it off at the doormat, and then you.
And that's it.
Hopefully,
Ding dong, take a picture.
You get to the door quick enough. And not it's got
47 minutes later, you're getting your cheeseburger, and I'm like, nah, I'd rather get in my car and drive out.
Yeah.
I'd rather go sit at a place and see a view, go out by myself, than sit at home and get a soggy burger 42 minutes later.
Although the soggy burger or the soggy breakfast is good when you're hungover.
Oh yes, yes it
That
is.
it's a blessing. Like DoorDash, thank God.
It could even be
I go back to
cold.
sleep,
It doesn't
like,
matter.
20 more minutes of sleep, and I go pick up that McDonald's.
47 minutes for your bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit to come.
Take it.
But I don't know. I guess some would say it's a good thing. I think in everything you do, in anything you do, there's good things and bad things, positive things and maybe not so positive. I won't call them negative, but positive and not so positive. But I think DoorDash, Uber Eats, good thing. I also think it's a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah, I got rid of DoorDash and Uber Eats
At my location,
probably about 6 months ago.
in my location, we've never done it.
Did you?
We've never done it. I don't see the point of taking your percentage, giving the food, because we try to pride ourselves on better food, fresh food. We're not just a scoop and serve. Like, no offense, I can see Chipotle doing it. Scoop and serve, put out, go out the door.
Yeah.
Which, not a bad deal. But I can't see the fresher places when you're cooking that burger to order.
That's true.
So most restaurants I've had, I don't really care too much to do it because it's not a profit. It's not a this. Yes, it gets it out there a little bit, but not as much as I think it should.
And it's a representation of your brand too. Because if I've never tried this specific restaurant, like,
Right.
let me just try it from DoorDash.
Yeah,
I
and
get
then
it 47 minutes later, and like, oh, this is terrible.
yeah,
But
you're not going to go.
It would have been great fresh. Yeah. Exactly.
And with the DoorDash and this stuff, why don't restaurants just start opening later again? Does it really seems to me like you ever been going out at 1 o'clock in the morning? You're like, I'm gonna get something on the way home. Dude, McDonald's are closed now. Burger King closed. Taco Bell closed at this.
Well, they're closed down on the insides, or they're ran by 1 or 2 people, and the doors are closed. You can't even go into the restaurants like you used to.
Yep.
But I'm saying, you remember before the pandemic, 10 years
yeah.
ago,
Oh, yeah.
Taco Bell open till 5 in the morning. This restaurant, this mom and pop restaurant's open until
At
24 hours a
2,
day.
at 2 a.m., I could get a lot of different
A
food.
lot of options.
Cruise
Now you-
around Walmart for a little bit and go hit some Wendy's.
You know how
It's true though.
It's true. Wendy's was
able to
open till
shop
3,
late
4 in
and
the
then go
morning.
out.
Everybody wanted to stay open till 3 or 4 to try to gain that. Now they all want to close at midnight, 1 o'clock, maybe 2 if you're lucky. Got a few Taco Bells at maybe 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I think they got to go back. That's customer service. Go back. Go back to opening until 3 or 4 o'clock again. I mean, nowadays when anybody says, where do you want to go eat? What do you guys say? It's one location. Wawa.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think the pandemic
Pizza or
happened.
Wawa. That's literally all you can get. There's very, very few places that you can go. There's the Waffle House, Denny's,
See,
but
You
that
said-
you can actually.
You said Wawa, and you know you're going to get me on a tangent because
You
I
like Wawa or don't like
I
Wawa?
love Wawa. I grew up on Wawa.
Yeah.
I remember being 6 and 7, going to get a sandwich before we'd go out on the fishing boat.
Where did you grow up?
In Jersey.
Okay.
Wawa hasn't been around that long.
Oh, Mr. Florida boy,
Yeah,
it
we're
has.
Florida boys.
Yeah.
A little
Wawa's new to us.
little history.
Because Wawa's new here in the last, 10 years,
Yeah.
maybe 15
Yeah,
years?
I remember the first Wawa came out around here. I'm like, what is Wawa?
Yeah, Wawa
That's what I
started
say.
out. Wawa started out as a dairy farm in Pennsylvania, and then after that, when the milkmen kind of went out, they didn't have the milkmen anymore. They were like, "Wow, we're going to be out of business. Let's open a convenience store." And that is how Wawa. Because I was a child going to Wawa, and when Wawa first did the touchscreen, I loved it. I was like, "Man, I'm hungover and I have to talk to no one. This is fantastic." But you'd put that order in on that screen. You'd get your ticket. You'd go, you'd pay for it, and by the time you got back from paying for it,
Ready to go.
it was done.
Yeah.
And then they opened Wawa in Florida, and we done Floridaed up Wawa. Now it takes 30 minutes to get a damn
I
sandwich.
was going to say, when did the last time I walked up there was done? Usually I do that
was
and I have
about
to wait
to say
for
too.
15 minutes.
Before they came down to Florida, and I don't know what Florida did to Wawa,
Life was better.
but Wawa worked hard. Wawa worked fast, and Wawa had about a 3-minute ticket time on anything you ordered.
That's cool.
Full pot roast, 3 minutes.
It doesn't matter, man.
Chicken cordon bleu made fresh, 2 minutes.
I would pay. I would walk up. It's done. I'm out, man. I loved that Wawa. I still love the food at Wawa. I just don't love the slowness of the.
I think it's gone.
Yeah.
I think it's gone to more scoop and serve. It sounds like when you did it a little fresher, a little different. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, they would actually slice the
Right,
the meat
and now
for each
everything's
sandwich,
gone prepackaged, probably cheaper. I get it, prepackaged, but
Then it should be faster.
But then,
Joe.
then
when you're going there at 1:30 in the morning with 17 other people going out, leaving the club, I don't know what to tell you.
Scoop, serve, boom.
but you do know what's better than Wawa at 1:30 in the morning?
The fifth meal.
Buc-ee's.
Oh, never done a late night
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's.
Every time I've gone to Buc-ee's, everything's closed. The sandwiches are up there. They're shelf life of 12 minutes, and they start throwing them away. Every time I walk up there, they're like, "Oh no, these are bad." I'm like, You made them 7 minutes ago. I'll take my chances. No, we can't serve it. I'm like, well, then just give me 3 of them. We'll pretend they didn't happen. No, like literally, it's like 34 minutes they have to throw everything away.
He's being denied food.
Damn. Wow.
That's funny.
But then there are also a lot of specials and things that are coming out. Did you see the new Hooters?
I did.
The new Hooters combination. So Hooters, I think my suggestion is Hooters is trying to compare to the $5 bucket, the $6 box. You know, a lot of these people now, a lot of the fast food are coming out with the Taco Bell box, 3 tacos and a drink and nachos for $5 and this for $6. So Hooters has a deal now. They have a menu of about 7, 8 items, 10 items that you get with fries and a drink for $10.
Yeah. So you get like a buffalo chicken wrap, fries, and a drink,
or fried pickles, and this. Like it was. I would say they're trying to anchor a little bit into the fast food world, because you know when we're driving through, it's like, hey, $5, $6, $7, $8. We can drive through Taco Bell, get a box, comes with a drink, comes there. It's a combo meal basically. So Hooters is now doing combo meals, $10 combo meals.
That's pretty cool.
Which I think is interesting. It's lunch only, 11 to 2.
11 to 2, yeah. And I think it's not all week. Was it Monday
through Friday?
Friday.
Yeah. You have some $3, and you can upgrade if you want the. You know, you can upgrade from the fries to maybe the rice and beans.
Yeah, or you can add bacon. They have their little upcharges in there, which is smart. They're going to need that because if you ordered that without an add-on, you're not making any. The restaurant's not making any money.
Right.
So I mean, the add-ons. You know, the $9.99 is let's hope, and you know everyone adds on, but you know you're getting them in with the promotion and then trying to add on when they get there. But I mean,
and you know what, that stuff works.
It does.
I really think it works.
It absolutely does.
One of the places we do a $5 burger on Monday. And it starts out at $5. You have to get a beverage, and then we have all these additional items you can add. So it starts out with burger, lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, and then you can add bacon and onion rings and side of fries, side of this, side of that, back and forth, and it works. I mean, the average ticket will be $8, $9, $10, $12 instead of the $5. So, but it gets them in the door. So I think Hooters is trying to. I think they're losing some business to the Wawas and the Taco Bells and the Burger Kings and the Wendy's with the combo meals now. So they're. Hey, let's do a $10 combo meal.
I think all restaurants and bars are losing out to grocery stores at this point. I was talking to one of our guys, one of our Budweiser guys, and he was saying that like restaurants themselves, their numbers are way down, but grocery stores way up.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's a lot of people, you know, because prices wouldn't go up during inflation. I mean, it happens, but you know, well, am I going to pay $5, $6 a beer? Or, you know, if I buy a case at the grocery store, that's what is $1 a beer?
Yeah.
$1.22.
Correct.
But but that goes back. I think a restaurant and bar should never the specials. It's an ambiance. Why are people going there?
Oh yeah.
I tell you this many times. Someone told me 20 years ago, I could buy a Heineken at any bar for right around the same price. What's going to make me come get a Heineken from your bar? Yeah. And that always stuck with me because the Heinekens are around the same price. You know.
Oh yeah.
$6, $5, $6, $7, $8, all in Daytona Beach area. But what's going to make me go to yours? Is it the view? Is it the ambiance? Is it the staff? Is it the customer service? What's going to make me come get I wouldn't say an overpriced, but a $6, $7, $8 Heineken when I can go buy a case for $24 and sit at home. Right. Instead of buying 5 beers for $25. That's why I think the industry has lost that.
Yeah, well, if you look the past few years, it's been, you know, it's been the ambiance. It's been, well, I'm going to go to this place because of this. No one really talked about the pricing. They'd even, oh yeah, this place, it's a little more expensive, but it's cool. No one really, it didn't bother anyone. Now people are in so much credit card debt that now the conversation is where's cool to go to. It's where can we afford to go? And that massive credit card debt, it's making people think twice about, you know, that now it's not, ooh, they have real good this, so let's go there. It's where can we afford to go?
Correct.
You know, we want to go out. We don't feel like cooking, but now we got to look at the bank account and see, you know, what we can afford to do.
But cooking a meal now, it's just even if you got to put a recipe into something and you got to buy spices, you got to buy stuff.
Oh yeah.
By the time you get a meal and you're gonna do whether it's a beef stew or something crazy, something wholesome to eat, it's $60.
Yeah.
So I look at the wife and we look at each other. Well, how much you think? We go to the grocery store and we know we get 2 or 3 bags of stuff and we got $100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of tough. So we find that sometimes it's let's go catch an Applebee's or something.
Yeah, because it's easier.
And we'll spend $40 and maybe get 2 drinks and spend $60.
Because you figure a beer and a burger is going to run you $30.
Yeah, and it's so funny how times have changed too. Because you know I'm a 3rd generation firefighter, so it's funny seeing my father be in the fire service, and you know it'd be the boys and getting dinner, it'd be, oh yeah, it's $3-4.
Yeah.
$3-4. Now I'm in.
Somewhat Tipsy is giving away a bottle from one of our sponsors to 4 of our listeners. Like, subscribe, or ring the notification button to enter. Somewhat Tipsy, your favorite hospitality podcast.
All right, guys, I guess we got a great caller on the line here with us. Actually, a FaceTime on the line here with us. So, Bo, I'll let you do the introduction.
What's going on? This is Bo Gadal with A1A Promotions, and we got my friend and my brother, my black dad, a.k.a. Daddy Black on the phone. One half of the multi-platinum group 95 South in the building. So I appreciate you being on with us, Daddy Black, Carlos.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, brother.
So we're real
I'm
excited.
blessed to be here, man.
We're real excited. We got Bo's event coming up, which you're a big part of on September 7th at the Streamline, and one of the 5-6 acts that are going to be there. And you guys are local, correct? You're out of the Florida area?
Yeah, we're out of the Florida area, out of Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County. And hey, man, thanks for having me.
So let's get right into it. For the show on September 7th, you guys are going to be, part of the act. Now, Bo, with having all the groups there, is there an itinerary that's going to have, or is it this guy's going out at 7, this guy's going at 8, this guy's going at 9? I mean, I know the show starts at 8, but like, is there an itinerary?
Yes, we do have an itinerary. So basically, we're going to have 95 South headlining the show because they do fit that demographics of what we want to finish off the night with, as it is a 90s meets 2000 night. And we have the East Side Boys going on right before them. So correct me if I'm wrong, Carlos, but I do believe that 95 South and East Side Boys are very similar but different when it comes to their styles of music. As I believe that Carlos started it off in the industry, and kind of the East Side Boys kind of took it and ran with it and kind of put their own spin on it. Correct me if I'm wrong. How do you feel about that, Carlos?
Well, I think bass music, which is the genre that we do, had a fast BPM, 125 all the way to 135. So I'm thinking what the East Side Boys did was took the music record and slowed it down. So instead of having the high BPMs, they took it, slowed it down. Same bass, same, everything. They just slowed it down, and it just gave a different flavor to the music. And just another way to introduce it to the people, man, and it works.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And that's what happens. Every 10 years, every 12 years, it seems like they change a little bit. They move this. They put house music in the back of it. They, you got the hip hop version. You got all the different things that change a little bit to bring different genres in to music from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 5 years ago. It always seems to change just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what's crazy, and what I love about 95 South and what they've implemented is 30 years later, these guys are still doing it 30 years later, if not bigger and better. I mean, now they've got their own website. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Carlos, they got their own website. They got their own backup dancers, and they just bring so much to the table. And what I love about the 95 South brand is they're more than just artists. Anybody can get up there, and I've seen this, and Carlos knows it better than I do. I've seen so many big names. And I'm not going to mention a name, but I've seen a bigger name than, and I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but I've seen a bigger name than 95 South go on stage right after 95 South, and people coming up to me going, man, 95 South should have headlined that. They were way better. Yep. So it's crazy that these, even though the song's bigger, but how they perform on stage is what brings the energy. And what I love about 95 South is just the energy that y'all are going to experience September 7th, which you guys can buy your tickets at bestdaytona.com. $30 pre-sale, $40 at the door. But you're going to see all that that night. And they're going to be headlining it. They go on about 11:30 that night looking over A1A Promotions. And they're going to bring that energy. The rodeo, the hump with it, the Woot, there it is. And I believe you two had a question about they were asking me something about the Woot.
I do.
Yeah. What was
because it's a song everybody knows, right? Mm-hmm. But there's another song out there that kind of sounds like it, and I was like, man, somebody probably got sued.
Yeah. Well, actually, Tag Team did get sued. But it wasn't the actual group. It was the label Belmar, which was out of California. And just to give people a quick story about that, we were signed to a label out of Atlanta called Ichiban Records. And they gave us some records to go and promote the record in Atlanta. and just so happened we went to a club that one of the guys in tag team were DJing at, and we took him the record to promote it. He loved it, played it, and he loved it so much until a couple months later they went and duplicated it.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that they weren't already attached to the saying, whoop, whoop, there it is, or whoop, there it is. We heard the saying in the street. We thought it was cool. We went and did a record, and the record worked for us. And I think those guys heard the record and was like, oh, shit. You know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse, but...
No, you're fine.
we better jump on this before these guys really get ahead of us. And I think they heard the record, went in the studio, created one of their own, and the record started to compete with each other.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I look at it like this. Their record helped our record get to places that it probably couldn't have gone without them. And their record went places that it probably wouldn't have gone without the help from us.
You almost needed that kind of like head
Yeah,
to head
yeah,
to...
because once Arsenio Hall caught wind of it back in 1993, he invited us on the show, and 95.7 Tag Team battled for who, let the public decide who had the best record.
Oh, that's awesome.
And out of the 16,000 calls, I think 13,000 was in favor of us.
Oh, cool.
And the proceeds from that show went to the flood victims out in the Midwest. It was a flood that year, and we donated all the money to them.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's Woot and Whoop. So 95
Woot
South is Woot.
Is WHOOT.
Right.
And tag team was Woot. WHOOMP.
Whoop, there it is.
Yeah.
So 2 letters difference, and a different genre a little bit, but different sound. But
Yeah.
now, do you guys?
And
I
10
have
million
to ask.
records sold.
I have to ask. Do you guys do shows together? Have you guys ever done a show or do shows together?
We've done a couple of shows together back in the early 90s. And the last show we did with those guys, we got arrested.
Now, see, I got to hear this story.
Yeah, we were in Lafayette, Louisiana. And we had a part of our show where we had these little G-string chicken things on that we got from Frederick's of Hollywood. And we used a part of our show where we would just kind of take the chickens out our pants and kind of bounce them around. And those cops didn't like that. As soon as we got off stage, they arrested our asses and took us to jail. And that was the last time we performed with Tag Team. I don't know if they were behind it or not, but...
Bo, I think that's your next show right there. Whoop and whoop, there it is.
Hey, I'm down for it.
I don't want to speak too much on that, but that's something that's been in the works for a while now. But unfortunately, 95 South says they're down.
Yeah.
Last time I talked to Tag Team, they told me they're not down. So unless we can get somebody else on the phone that can make that happen, that won't be happening with me because they said no, they don't think that would work. So, which means one thing: either they're scared or they just don't want to do it.
I think they're worried about getting outperformed. I think that's what they're worried about.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you guys go back and look at that Arsenio Hall show back in 1993, it's on YouTube. You'll see what the difference is.
So what's up next for you guys? Like what's 2025 looking like for Tag Team? Are you guys got some tour dates and you guys traveling around?
I don't know what Tag Team got
I was
going
gonna say
on.
95 South.
Did I say Tag Team? I'm at 95 South. There
He's
we
like, I
go.
don't know what Tag Team got going on.
I don't know what Tag Team got going on. 95 South.
They might be taking care of you at the show on September 7th.
Right, but again, Jeremy, that's the beauty of it, because you can't say one without the other.
That's true.
It's a good way to take a somewhat negative thing and turn it positive. It's, I would say negative,
you
but
got to, man.
take something that kind of could push you over the edge and say, I'm going to turn this into something that's better for us.
Yeah. And what's
doubt.
crazy?
And the reason why I feel that way is because I had a conversation recently with Jay McGowan, who produced the record, and he kind of put it to me like that. We were doing halftime at the Pelicans game out of New Orleans, and he's with the Quad City DJs, and he was like, "Man, Carlos, I just look at it another way." And again, both records help each other. Collectively, we sold probably about 25, 30 million records.
Yeah.
So the same is ours, is theirs, and it is what it is, So, and when the Geico commercial came out, when they did for the Super Bowl last year, it just kind of re-energized everything because people were calling our phone like, hey, I see you guys did the Geico commercial, and I was like, no, that wasn't us.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hello?
That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
You know,
crazy
I
is
was like, yeah, that wasn't us. That was those guys. And but again, it just kind of re-energized everything. So what I said was, it's time to finish the documentary, which we have coming out called Beyond the Base, and it's going to explain, our origins, where the music took us, the whole ordeal with Tag Team, and where we're getting ready to go next.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, when do you think that'll come out?
We're shooting for spring 2025.
Okay, cool.
We're going to be doing some shooting on the 14th and 15th of September. We're going to probably bring the camera crew with us at the Bowl show
Oh, cool.
and do some stuff up there. We can get, the B-Side Boys, Turbo B is going to be there, which is a good friend of mine. And we'll be able to do some mini interviews and just kind of get the whole energy, on camera. And we're shooting for next spring.
Well, that's awesome. What platforms are you looking to roll it out on?
Well, we have an inside at Netflix that's very interested.
Okay, cool.
Hold on, Mike is okay, he's calling on FaceTime. How can we add Mike?
You should be able to just accept the call, I think.
No, it's not giving me the option to. Wow. Maybe I'm not sure.
I'll text you his number.
Okay, you guys are gonna try to give him a call?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to add him in too.
Okay.
But that's awesome that you have an inside track on Netflix.
Yeah. Netflix, we got some people at Hulu and a couple of other streaming platforms, but hey, we're open.
Now,
I think the world's ready to know.
Oh, absolutely. I think they are.
And not to go off topic here, but I don't know if you've watched the music videos, but it not only did they steal I should say they steal the record, they even kind of steal the music video, because if you look in the music videos of both songs, you see the girls walking around with the Woot There It Is t-shirts pointing down, and then you look at Tag Team's version, and it's the Woot There It Is with the shirts pointed down as well. It's like, what the, it's like, they copied, not only did they copy the song, but they copied the video.
Milk money.
Now we
What's
got
happening,
everybody.
everybody?
How's it going?
I'm chilling, man.
All right, let me make the introduction to Mr. Mike. So I've known Mike a long time, and this man, I love him to death, but he's going to be the one that you got to literally grab him off the stage, because he does not stop performing. You give that man a couple drinks with some Red Bull, he's you can't stop him. And let me tell you something else. And me and this good friend Jay, Jay. Shout out to Jay, the producer, man. Also, we talk all the time. And what's funny about Mr. Mike is he always got something to say. Whether you want to hear it or not, he gonna tell you. And that's what I love about him, man. And he always makes time for
Let me tell you something. And you can mix anything with Red Bull. Kool-Aid, sweet tea, on a Palmer, just put some Red Bull in it, and let me go.
And why don't we talk real quick while we got him on the line? Have you ever heard it? Have you guys ever listened to Mike's Jeep Talk?
I have not.
Oh,
Jeep Talk.
Jeep Talk. Every day or every couple days, he has a conversation about Jeep Talk, and it's
Conversation from the Jeep
conversation
seats.
from the Jeep seats. And let me tell you what, it could get dirty in that Jeep.
So where do we hear Jeep Talk?
Yeah, where can we find Jeep? I don't know. I think it's going to be on all social media platforms here a little bit. YouTube, TikTok, we'll be catching all of it.
Yeah.
So tell us what's going on, Mike. What got you on the podcast? I'll let Jeremy hand it over to him. Tell him a little about the podcast so he knows what's going on.
Tell him about the podcast.
Yeah, tell him about the podcast.
We have a podcast.
Yeah.
That's what you're on.
I know, but tell him a little
We have
about
a podcast. Our podcast is all about hospitality, different events, but a different side of it. We bring in artists, we bring in drivers from NASCAR, we bring in bartenders, we bring in managers, we bring it all over it, because we want to experience the whole hospitality from the back end. not always seeing from the front or come in the restaurant. It's almost seeing behind the scenes of people that have been in the business over 50, 60 years get to actually see the restaurant business and the things that are going on now and the things that are changing. So that's kind of what our show's about, and bringing on you guys is seeing the music side of the business of hospitality, because music is hospitality. Without music, I don't think there would be hospitality to what it is today.
Agree. So
and I'm glad you brought that up, because underneath all of this sexiness right here, I'm a fat boy and I love food. I love restaurant food. So no matter what you see, I'm a little fat boy up on all of this.
And I think it would be fun to have them part of our Come On, Karen segment. Come on, Karen.
Come on, Karen. Come on, Karen. I like that.
So we do a segment every week. It's called Come On, Karen. And what we do, people send us reviews that they've gotten from, their restaurants. And, we talk about it. We dissect it and we discuss it. So I think we're about that Come On, Karen time, right?
What was our Come On, Karen pick of the week?
Our Come On, Karen today.
All right. Let's read the review.
So, food is okay, nothing special. We left an 11% tip, and the server handed back the check with the payment and asked us to tip 20%, complaining she has to give the other staff a cut. If your boss doesn't pay you guys enough, that's unfortunate, but it shouldn't be up to me to make up for that. America is an absolute joke with its tipping culture.
Wow.
Come on, Karen. Yeah. Come on, Karen.
Come on, Karen. Yeah.
So,
you know what though? I'm sorry. I'm gonna side with her.
So on the
tipping is
culture,
a right. Tipping is not something I have to do.
It is.
It's not. Nobody says you have to. I could leave a 0% every time, and I'm technically doing nothing wrong.
Yep.
But it's not like it's part of the business. I could walk out on it, never tip, and it's not like I'm illegally doing something. I think.
No.
So according to what service you got and the level of this and level of that, I think that's where the tip comes into place. Now, I've never left at 0 tip, even with bad service, even with this. I've always left at least 15, 20%, no matter what. And then 30s and 40s and 50s and 100s, if it makes sense. So, yeah. I mean, if some server handed me back the book at an 11% tip and told me to tip 20, I'd kind of be offended.
I don't agree with the server doing that at all. Like,
what would you do if at the Pink Pony that you work at, if a server handed back your customer a thing and got 11%, said it needs to at least be 20?
I would probably fire that server
and probably comp the meal or something. With
I would try and stay away from that.
He's not funny.
Not go crazy.
Karen's mad.
But I mean, the server in that aspect, going back with I agree, they should have tipped more than that. But going back, that'd probably be, job loss.
Yeah, and I also think that tips are based on service.
They are, absolutely.
I mean, because like Jeremy said earlier, I've never gotten a meal and not left a tip. But if they gave excellent service, then the tip is going to reflect that. If they gave horrible service, the tip is going to reflect that as well. But I also can read a room. If I'm going to eat somewhere and it's a crowded place and there's a lot going on, I'll extend some grace to my server.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't see that server working.
All right, Carlos, it's like this. You're my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if Granddaddy gave me $5, but I came back to him and say, "Hey, Granddaddy, you got to give me more because I got to give Carlos some." He would have taken that $5 back from me and told me to get the hell up out of his face.
Uh-huh.
Right.
If that would have happened, there only would have been one guy at 95 South.
I just think that's so ungrateful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that we have these Come On Karens that people send us, and a lot of it is the person doing the post that you're like, wow, you're just way out of line. And I thought this was a good one because it's not that. There's both sides that you can look at and say, well, both sides could have done something a little different.
Well, she probably had a tip out at the end. 5% of the check, 2% of the check.
Whatever. Yeah.
So
for
she's like,
support
okay, this
staff.
was $100. I have to tip out 10 of this, and they only left me $10, so I'm getting nothing.
Yeah, you're not.
Because
You're not
between the
making
busser
anything.
and the server and this and that, or the dishwasher, I have to tip out on this, and I think that's where she was a little upset. So I could see her side, but you can't do that. I mean, that's like
No, you cannot do that.
you cannot ever do that. I mean, there's been times when I was serving back in the day, I got stiffed, $120 tab, got nothing. It cost it actually for them to eat probably cost me $7-8. But then the other guy that left me $25 on a $25 tip cost me $2.
Right.
So overall, it equals out. That's the industry we're in. We're not in the industry of my $12 an hour, $18 an hour, and I'm going to get it as long as I show up to work and do my job and don't get fired. We're in the industry is one tip could be bad, one tip could be great, one tip could be awesome. I mean, we've all gotten that $100, $200 tip on the one guy that wants to come in, buy 2 beers and tip you $100.
Oh yeah.
Right.
We don't tell him no, only
Right.
20%.
You have to also remember that working in an industry like that, there's little perks. Like you could find the love of your life working in a spot like that, but you could also find a bitty baby mama.
Oh, very much so.
So
Hey, and if you see me with one of your baby mamas, you got to keep it on the low, Mike.
please tell her you don't know where the hell I'm at.
So just to let you know, that little reference right there, what I just said is part of their new song, "Riding in My Chevy," by 95 South, which will be performing live on September 7th. So that was a little.
I love it. I love it.
I like it too. I like it too. You see me with one of my baby mamas, you got to keep it on the low.
Why, Mike?
Yeah, because they're all off glass and they quick to bring it to you, and they quick to come out their purse. And plus, I'm already ass deep in child support.
And I don't need you to make it no worse.
Because the state of Florida don't play.
They do not.
So I'm sure you guys are familiar with that song, "Come On, Ride a Train." Yeah. I believe we have one of the. I think Mike, weren't you on that record?
Yes. I wrote that song when I was 9, right? Because it's almost 30 years old, and I'm not even 40 yet.
Oh boy.
But anyway, I wrote it, but I wrote me a verse in it too, because I saw what we did with Woot, There It Is, and Tootsie Roll and Rodeo, and I wanted to always eat off this song double. So from royalties, writers,
and
I can also perform on it.
Yep. I'll tell you, we got to get you in the NSB Songwriters Festival here one of these years.
Hey, just let me know, bro. Let me know.
I love it. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah.
I know we're running close to the end of the show, but I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you guys September 7th too at the Streamline Hotel.
Yeah, September 7th again's going down. September 7th, we got a huge lineup. I got my brothers, 95 South, going to be there. Mike, Daddy Black. Heard they're bringing the backup dancers, so it's gonna be a crazy show, and it's gonna be fireworks. And one more time for my partner Ralph and John. Ralph with Curb Appeal, our sponsorship. Appreciate you being a part of this event, and it's a blessing to have you.
Appreciate you. I shoot everybody. So it's always a movie when we come see you. You know that.
I appreciate it, man.
And Jeremy, I'm looking
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
I know I haven't seen you guys in about, like 4 or 5 years since you came and did that performance, but
Listen, one of my girlfriends saw Jeremy and his hairstyle, and she wants me to get my hair like him.
Oh, Jeremy, all right.
I don't need you around none of my girlfriends.
Jeremy, they don't want
Bo, it ain't about your hair, it's about my hair, pumpkin.
Look,
That's
Bo's
what's
going to
up
go
in
get a
Streamline.
completely
I
different
know.
hairstyle now.
My whole birthday, I'm going to show up looking like Jeremy.
I'll sign autographs. You're
Looking
fine.
forward to it as well. And the
So,
Streamline is always a dope place to stay, and Jeremy always looks out for us.
Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to September 7th. It's going to be a good show. Great friends, good people around, and we're already over halfway sold out of the tickets, and it's going to be a good show.
all right, real quick before we ride out, 95 South, can we get a little video drop real quick from you guys, real quick, for the podcast? Where are you going to be September 7th?
Yeah. So it's going to be released September 7th?
September 7th, where are you going to be?
We're gonna be at the Streamline Hotel, baby. Y'all be there. 95 South. Daddy Black, Mike. What's up, baby?
There you go.
It's gonna be crazy.
Woot.
I'm
There
ready.
it is.
I'm ready.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
All right, thanks
Bye.
a lot.